Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this ECC webinar, third in the series of webinars planned for the enterprise command centers. Our first two webinars are available on our YouTube channel. And today's webinar will deal with the finance dashboards provided by Oracle EBS. Taking you through this will be Rosemary today.
Hi everyone, myself Rosemary Paurus. In today's session, we will first look into the receivables dashboard, how to use it to manage collection and open receivables, then acting of assets using asset command center, bank reconciliation process using the cash management enterprise command centers, and viewing enterprise financial health in the GL command centers, and also a quick recap of the payables dashboard from the first webinar. So now we will move to the application. So start with the receivables command center. So this option to access the command center is available in the corresponding responsibility itself. So this receivables command center is mainly aimed for the receivables managers and accountants. So before moving to the deeper into the command center, we will first look into the common features of each command centers which Oracle provides. So on the top left corner, we can see all the available refinements. So user can select any of the filters from this list. They can easily add or remove any of these filters. Also, we can see one option to share this dashboard. So user will be entitled to share this dashboard. They can export it to the PDF. And they can use it accordingly. We can see here the entire dashboard is exported to the PDF and they can use it easily for any of their representations. And next to the share option, we can see one I button, which will show the last data load details. That is the date and time of the data load. So that data needs to be loaded to the dashboard from the application at regular intervals. The data loading can be scheduled based on the requirements. So coming to the body part, we can see from the open receivables, the number of ledgers available. So I am just filtering to one of the ledgers. And before that, we can see one search area. So all the selected filters will be available here. And apart from that, we have one option called Save Searches. So user can save their searches for the future reference. They can make it public or they can make it default. If it is saved as a public saved search, every user can use this saved search. If it is made as default, whenever the user coming back to this particular dashboard, they can see it by default. They have to provide one useful name and save it for the future reference. So all the saved searches will be available by clicking on this search area. They can select any of the search searches, they can filter the data accordingly. So after this search area, we can see one summary bar provided by the Oracle. The summary bar will provide the insights into the key metrics of one particular dashboard. So this is the receivables dashboard. We can see the key metrics like the outstanding balances of then past due invoice balances, any on-account credit memo balances are there. So such key metrics will be available from this summary bar. And below that, we can see the transaction aging, outstanding receivables graphs, and the top past due customer graph. So this users can navigate to deeper into the information from these charts. Each of these components of this dashboard will work like a filter. You can see here, once we select any of this component, the entire dashboard is getting updated automatically. So these command centers are working based on the security rules of the application. So that's the access of this operating unit ledgers can be based on the security profile which is defined. So after this charts, we can see the resultant table. Based on each of the filters, we can see the resultant table at the bottom of the dashboard. Apart from the filters available, these components are also work as a filter. Then resultant table will provide detailed insights to the transactions available, and also it provides the option to drill down the source transaction. You can see here, while clicking on this one, we can drill down the transaction details, and also they can perform certain actions like this is an invoice, they have to perform, they can perform the actions like validation, the completing the invoice, and if it is a receipt, they can update that receipts and all. This resultant table is also available to export. And one more thing about this graph, we can maximize the size. And also it provides the option to export it as an image. So it can be directly used in any of the managerial reports and all. They can export this information as an Excel format. So they can use it for the decision making. And it also provides the information of the dimensions of this particular graph also. So we can see here, each of the dimensions shows which information. So they can easily come here and change the dimension if they want to see it in another way. So these are some common features available in each of the command centers dashboards. Now we will deeply look into the receivables command center. We can see here there are 5 different dashboards available in this particular receivables command center, starting from the outstanding receivables, then billing process, payment history, and period close dashboards. The receivable command centers are mainly targeted for the receivables managers. The main objective is to minimize the customer account delinquencies. First, we will focus on this outstanding receivables dashboard. So the main objective of this outstanding receivables dashboard is to minimize the customer account delinquencies by performing the task like reviewing the customer balances, eliminating the cash inflows based on the due dates, and review the recent invoices and all. It also enables to perform certain actions like complete the customer invoices and enter the receipts and all. So this summary bar provides insights into the key metrics like the outstanding balances by value, the past due invoices by value, and on-account credit memo balances and all. So this graph provides the summary of the outstanding receivables aging So now we will look into how this outstanding receivables dashboard will help the receivables manager in their decision-making purpose. Drill down into the largest overdue transaction will show the top overdue invoices. Manager can filter on this largest overdue transactions by filtering the over 90 days aging bucket. On the right side, we can see the top past due customers graph. From this, they can drill down to the top past due customer information. So from the resultant table, manager can view all the transactions which is in open status. So from the amount due, they can work on the topmost invoices which is in the incomplete status. We can also see all the summary bar information is also changed according to the selected filter. So as I mentioned earlier, dashboards are providing the options not only to see, it also provides the option to interact, like it allows to perform necessary transactions also. So from this one, if we move, the manager wants to move to the topmost invoice, they can see the preview of the invoice. So they can see the invoice details here. So this invoice needs to be sent to the customer. So he have the option to download this invoice so they can send it by mail or something else, or they have the options to print this invoice. From this transaction number, they will be allowed to navigate to the transaction workbench. So they can see the transaction workbench and they can perform, they can verify the invoice and they can edit this invoice and they can mark this invoice as complete or whatever they have to perform, they can do it from this transaction workbench itself. So that's all about this outstanding receivables dashboard. Now we will move to the next dashboard that is called billing process. So the main objective is to reduce the days sales outstanding by performing the task like resolving the billing process bottlenecks. They can also work on completing the pending adjustments and resolving the import errors. So from the dashboard, manager can see the bills process exception summary bar, which will provide the counts of the incomplete transactions, pending adjustments, and import errors. We can see here the billing process exceptions summary bar will provide the details of the incomplete transactions, pending adjustments, and if any import errors are there, it will be also shown here. So let's focus on one example. So from the incomplete transactions chart, manager can see the customers and the incomplete transactions value against each customer. Select the top customer. So from the resultant table, we can see there are 2 transactions which are there in the incomplete status. So from this, manager can drill down to the largest overdue transactions. As I mentioned earlier, they can click on this invoice number and they can perform the transactions like complete. If they want to edit any of the information, they can do it and they can complete the transaction. So now we will move to the next dashboard that is called payment process. So this dashboard can be used to identify the payment related transactions such as unapplied and unaccounted receipts, receipt and remittance batches, which is requiring the attention of the manager. And if any logbooks errors are there, it will be also available. We can see all the matrices in the summary bar. The unapplied receipts by count, unapplied receipt balance, receipt and remittance batches. If any logbooks errors are there, it will be also available. And below that, you can see the area for the tag cloud. So this tag cloud is showing the top 10 customer with the unapplied receipts. So these all components will be act like a filter. And now we will look into an example. So from the resultant table, we can move to the unapplied receipt details. We can see the unapplied receipt details resultant table. Manager can review this information of this unapplied receipts. They can perform the actions like applying this receipts by clicking on this receipt number. While clicking on this receipt number, we will navigate to the receipt to workbench and they can perform, they can apply this receipt against the corresponding invoice. Then we have one more dashboard called payment history. So this payment history dashboard can be used to review the recent historical information about both paid and applied receipt across the customers. We can see the matrices of the paid receivable transactions and the number of applied receipts. From the resultant table, they can deep dive into the paid transactions and the payments part. It enables them to perform the task like analyze the prepayment trends, overdue balances, adjustments, credit memos, and more. So from the resultant table, manager can see the paid transactions and receipt. They can export it and they can use it accordingly. They can see the preview of the invoice from this resultant table also. They can easily export this and they can use it for the decision-making purpose. And now we are moving to the period close dashboard. So period close dashboard can be used to get insights into the all transactions that affect the closing process of the accounting periods and speed up the period close and the reconciliation process. So the main objective is to optimize the month and improve the accounting cycle. So now we will quickly go through the period close process. There may be transactions which is pending. It needs to be completed first. Then we have to perform subledger accounting activities. There may be potential accounting issues such as unprocessed transactions that hasn't been accounted yet. They may be invalid transactions because of the existing accounting errors, and they have to perform transferring of these journal entries to the GL, which means the transactions accounted in subledgers, which is not yet transferred to GL, they have to transfer it to the general ledger. Then only they can close one period. So now we will look how manager can use this dashboard in their period close processing. So from the summary bar, we can see all the details of the open periods available. So from this one, they can easily choose the period they are looking to close. We can see based on the selected filters, all the information is getting filtered. For this particular period, the number of unaccounted accounts, which is in the draft mode, if any accounting errors are there, if any transfers are pending to transfer to the GL, all such information will be available in this closing control summary bar. So now we will focus on the pending accounting events. So based on this filter, we will see the details in this pending journal resultant table. So we can see here only one transaction is in the draft accounting mode now. So in the resultant table, we can see the event type. It is an invoice created and the journal lines also. The journal line for this one particular invoice we can see here. And manager can review the journal entry from here itself. If any problematic lines are there, they can export this one to the Excel, and they can go through all the entries, and they can take the corrective actions also. If any line needs to be changed, they can navigate to the transaction workbench and they can change it accordingly. Here it provides the navigation path to navigate to the invoice. If it is a receipt entry, they can simply navigate to the receipt part from here itself. So that's all about receivables dashboards. Now we are moving to the asset command center. So this asset command centers are mainly aimed for the assets management. It helps them to analyze and act on the asset-related data from across the enterprise. It improves the decision-making and maximizes the operational efficiency with the sophisticated guided navigation and powerful search capability of the command center. As a fixed asset manager, they can use this asset command center to speed up the period close process, to forecast and manage the capitalization events, to increase the asset utilization also. So Oracle provides 6 different individual dashboards, starting from the asset cost, asset aging, asset location, asset mass transactions, asset pipeline, and asset reconciliations. So now we will focus on this asset mass transactions dashboard. So this dashboard can be used to gain insight into the pending transactions, such as mass additions, reclassifications, revaluations, and transfers. It provides actionable links also to the Oracle assets to ensure that all the pending transactions are processed on time, to close the asset book timely, The main objective is to speed up the period close by completing the pending transaction. We can see only the corporate books transactions will be available in this asset command center. It is not supporting the tax books. We can select the respective asset book from this additions summary bar. We can see there are two summary bars available here. One is for the pending additions, one is for the pending transactions. This pending additions summary bar provides the details of the pending additions by count and by value. Pending transactions summary bar will show all the matrices of pending transactions, different asset transactions from transfers, evaluations, reclassifications, and retirements. So this resultant table will show the detailed insights of the corresponding transactions also. So now we will look into an example how the asset manager can utilize this dashboard. So this manager can work on the asset additions part. They can filter by the addition status from the addition cost by source transaction chart. We can see here the transaction source, new and on hold. So we can see here the most additions are in the new status. So they can work on this one. So in the above, we can see the catalog is also filtered. We can see the transaction source, whether it is coming from the Oracle payables or whether it is a manual addition and all. So now we are focusing on the Oracle payables addition. So if the asset addition is from the payables, the pending part will be performing the steps like preparation of the mass addition and posting of the mass addition. So from the resultant table, manager can perform the actions. We can see here, based on the nature of the line we selected, they can perform the corresponding actions, like they can prepare it for the mass addition, they can post it for the mass addition, they have the option to delete the mass addition line also. So now we will move to the next dashboard. So that is the asset cost dashboard. So this asset cost dashboard can be used to analyze the asset cost for the major and minor categories. It displays the overview of the asset cost and accumulated depreciation by category. So the main objective is to forecast and manage the capitalization events. Manager can see the book controls details in the very beginning of the dashboard. The current asset book details, ledger details, the last depreciation run details, and the current period also. From the asset cost summary bar, they can see the cost of the capitalized assets, group assets, CAP asset, if any expensed assets are there, that value can be also seen from this asset cost summary bar. And below that, we can see the graphs available, asset counts by category, asset count by year placed in service. Let's see one example. If the asset manager needs to look into the current year additions, manager can go to the asset by year placed in service chart. Select the latest year by clicking on this year. After applying the filter, we can see that the asset by category diagram shows the minor category-wise information. Can be drilled down to the month placed in service. Manager can validate the asset data from the resultant table. Manager can check the missing data, if any. And here we can see some of the information like tag number, model number, manufacturer name. Such information are missing here. So manager can navigate from this resultant table to the asset workbench, and they can enter the missing information there, and they can complete the transaction. They can take the corrective action. So that's about the asset cost dashboard. So moving to the next dashboard, that is asset location dashboard. So this asset location dashboard can be used to track fixed asset across all locations and employee assignments and detect any discrepancies in the cost center assignments. So that actionable links in this dashboard helps to execute the asset transfers and assignments in Oracle Assets to resolve the missing assignments and misallocated resources. It helps to work on the unassigned assets. So this employee assignment summary bar provides the assigned and unassigned asset counts. We can see here number of the assigned asset and unassigned asset. And below that, unassigned asset by category tag cloud provides the matrices of the unassigned asset by category. So now we will look into an example. So from the unassigned asset by category summary bar, we can see there are, from the employee assignments summary bar, we can see there are two unassigned assets are there. So manager can again filter by location or cost center. So from the resultant table, they can perform the asset assignment. By clicking on the assign employee option, they can perform the asset assignment. They can navigate to the assignment form and they can easily assign the employee here. So that's all about the asset location. We will move to the next dashboard called asset aging. So this asset aging dashboard can be used to search for the assets and view the asset aging. It provides the useful asset life information for all assets depreciated by the base life method. It provides more insights to the remaining life of the assets. So from the tag cloud, manager can see the remaining life of the assets, the top 10 asset categories and their remaining life. So from the aging pie chart, manager will get the asset life information. So let's look into one example. So manager can search for any of the particular asset from the available refinery. So now we are focusing on the asset called laptop. Focus on the asset aging within 1 year by clicking on the within 1 year aging bucket. From this aging bucket chart, we can focus on the within 1 year asset. So from the resultant table, manager can view the remaining life of the asset. If necessary, they can perform the transaction like retirement of the asset. So now we will move to the next dashboard called asset pipeline. So this dashboard can be used to check all the additions pipeline that exist in your Oracle payables and projects that affect the asset cost. So the main objective is to improve the forecasting opportunity in the upcoming asset capitalization. So from the previous filters for the laptops, we can see there are 2 invoices which are in the pipeline against this laptop. So moving to the next dashboard, that is called asset reconciliation. So this dashboard can be used to investigate and correct the discrepancies between the asset cost accounts in Oracle General Ledger and subledgers. The main objective of this reconciliation dashboard is speed up the period close process. This dashboard provides the overview and visibility into all the asset account balances. And the fast identification of the discrepancies between the accounted balances for the assets and the balances in the GL. So from this, we can see two charts for the account reconciliations and untransferred balances are present there. One is showing the account reconciliation, one is showing the untransferred balance. So from this, manager can identify the discrepancies. So this providing the information about the subledger balance and the general ledger balance, we can see the variances here. So manager can highlight the differences in the general ledger balance. I can work on it accordingly. So that's all about this asset command centers. Okay, now moving to the questions part. Yeah, we can choose the multiple lines to prepare the asset. Okay. So now we will move to the next command center, that is the cash management. So Oracle provides this cash management dashboard is only for the manual reconciliation part. So this dashboard provides the insight into the unreconciled transactions in the enterprise to enable to streamline the manual reconciliation process. Nowadays, most of the businesses will opt for the auto reconciliation to save the time and ensure the correctness of the transactions. So now the question arises, why this manual reconciliation dashboard is required? So in most of the organizations, the 90% of the reconciliation process is handled automatically, even though the 10% which requires the manual reconciliation due to the mismatch in the number, a date, or amount. So this number of this 10% transactions may be high. So this line-by-line reconciliation will be a very time-consuming process. So this manual reconciliation dashboard is a new kind of dashboard offered by Oracle. It is a transactional dashboard. So all other dashboards only allows us to navigate to the corresponding forms from the dashboard. Manual reconciliation dashboard will allow to do the transaction within this dashboard itself. It focuses on applying and take the direct action from the dashboard itself. So this dashboard will be pre-filtered by this status called unreconciled always. We can see the statement lines below that, which provides the required information for the reconciliation, like the transaction number, amount, the nature of transactions, and all. So corresponding to these statement lines, we can see the available transactions also. So manager can select one or more lines from this available transaction. It supports one-to-one and one-to-many reconciliation, which means they can reconcile the one statement line against one available transaction or multiple available transactions. So this reconciliation confirmation pop-up summarizes the statement lines and available transactions selected from the ETS. We can clarify the difference between the amounts also. So now we will move to one example. So manager can select the bank account name from the filters. So based on that, the statement lines, the available transactions will be get filtered. We can see the transaction details on the statement line, whether it is a payment, whether it is a receipt, amount, the date, the description, and all. From the selected statement line, against that, manager can select one or more available transaction. The total of the available transactions will be available in the bottom of the available transaction. So they can match the amount here. So once it is matched, they can simply click on this reconcile button and the nature of this line will be changed to the reconcile. So that's all about this small bank reconciliation, manual reconciliation dashboard. So now we will move to the next command centers, that is general ledger command center. So this general ledger command center provides the key insight into the all the financial accounting events. So there are 3 dashboards available for the GL managers, that is account analysis, journal processing, and balances dashboard. So this account analysis dashboard offers insights into all the period-to-date account activities, whether they are posted or unposted, from the open or closed accounting period. Dashboard provides an overview. It provides overview of the journal entry sources, including chart of account segments and the subledger data with amounts in the journal currency and the ledger currency. The next one, journal processing dashboard, can be used to import data from both Oracle and non-Oracle feeder system issues. If because of some issues, there may be journals which can't be imported. So this journal processing dashboard can be used to review and resolve the journal processing issues for both primary and secondary ledger. The last one, the balance dashboard, represents the detailed data for the year-to-date balances and trial balances. So there are, we will now focus on the new features added to the latest version of the GL command centers. That is the ability to use the core center segment hierarchy and supporting all the type of ledgers like the secondary and reporting currency ledgers. So before, the users are only allowed to drill down by the account segment hierarchy only. So now they can drill down using the core center account segment hierarchy, and also the account analysis dashboards and the balances dashboard will display the secondary and reporting currency transactions also. So now we will look into the an example. So manager can select the ledger from this general ledger controls. So now we are selected one primary ledger here. So if they want to focus on any particular account type, it will be available. So now we are focusing on the expense part. So by clicking on this account type as expense, we can see the graph is filtered for the expenses. So from the period activities, we can see the current year expenses. It also provides the option to compare the current period data with the previous period. So manager can simply select the previous period also. So it provides the current year, current period and previous period data in one view. So from this, it is very clear that one of the expense type is only showing an increased trend. So manager can check why it is why it is increased. So by clicking on this this expense, which is for the maintenance supplies, from the resultant table part, we can see the transaction three transactions are there, and from that, one transaction amount is very high. So they can drill down to the asset inquiry, account inquiry part. They can see the source transaction and the journal lines, subledger lines and all. They can drill down to the accounting part. From there, they can drill down to the transaction workbench. So from this descriptions, we can see that this particular line is for the replacement of the asset component, which usually needs to be capitalized. Now it is expensed. So manager can ask the payables users or payables manager to check, recheck this particular invoice and take a decision whether to capitalize or expense this particular invoice. So that's all about the GL command center. Now we will quickly go through the payables command center, which we discussed in detail in our first session. So this payable command center will allow the payables manager to work on the major challenges faced by the payables manager. That is to optimize the cash outflow and improve the supplier relationship and optimization of the days payable outstanding and working on the longer period close process. So it is very similar to the receivables command center, which we've seen first. So there are 4 different dashboards available in this payables command center. One is for the supplier balances, one is for the holds and discounts, and one is for the period close. So this supplier balances dashboard helps them to optimize the cash outflow by reviewing the supplier balances, estimating the cash outflow based on the due dates, reviewing the recently paid invoices and all. They are enabled to perform the actions like validate the supplier invoices and initiate the payments from the dashboard itself. We can see here from the open payable summary bar, it is providing the insights to the open balances information by the supplier, by the employee. If any unapplied prepayment amount is prepaid invoice is there, the amount of the past due invoices, if any invoices which will be due within the next 7 days. So all the information will be available from the summary bar. Then we can see one tag cloud for the validation statuses. So from there, we can see the most of the transactions are in the status of validated status. From the aging of past due invoices, manager can work on the over 90 days overdue invoices. They can filter by the top 10 top supplier who have the open balances. So from the resultant table, they can simply navigate to the form and they can perform transaction, balance transaction like the validation and the payment part. After the supplier balance, we can see the holds dashboard. So this holds plays an important role in maintaining a supplier relationship because of this hold, invoices may get delayed and which will be result to the losing of the supplier players and all. So this holds dashboard can be used to see the holds information, the past due invoices which are in hold, the hold invoices which are going to be due within the next 7 days. And from the tag cloud, we can see the top 10 holds by invoices. We can see here most of the invoices are invoice holds are because of the line variances. So by filtering on this, manager can simply move to the invoice workbench hold portion, and they can release the hold accordingly. They can alter the variances, line variances, and they can work on the hold. And after that, we can see the discount dashboard. So this discount dashboard is mainly for working on the discount part. It will show the discounts available in the next 7 days and the discount amount on the old invoices. So it will help the managers to save the discount. So later we have one period close dashboard. So this period close dashboard is very much similar to the receivables period close dashboard. They can perform the period close activities from this dashboard. Like from the closing controls summary part, we can see the number of open period. They can select the period which they want to close. They can see the key metrics like the number of accounted events, accounted events, which is in the draft mode. Any accounting errors are there. If any untransferred journals are there, such information will be available in this closing control. Now we are focusing on the pending accounting events. So this chart will provide details of the transactions, accounting events, which is in the pending status. So from the resultant table, they can see all the journal lines. By the invoice number, they can see the accounting lines against one invoice, and they can export this resultant table to the Excel, and they can work on the problematic lines, and they can ask to change the lines, discount distributions and all. So this is the way this payable command center will work. Now we reach to the conclusion of the current session.